Good evening, everyone. My name is Jordan, also known as Reps, and today I want to show you this digital alarm clock 2. Now, I have used this name back in the past, but it sounds kind of clingy and distorted, and it gives off a nice ring. So I thought I would show you how to stereo width this sealed. It's kind of a new technique I've developed, and it kind of gives your synth a little bit more headroom in terms of creating very loud synths. So I thought I would play this demo, short demo I have of this synth, and show you how to make it. Alright, so one of the things you want to have done is that we're going to go down to our tempo and we're going to change that to 141 or 140, depending if you're comfortable with those two. I'm going to turn on my quantization recording, and I want to take my level of my click down to about 65 or so. Turn on pre, make sure loop is on. So one of the things I'm going to add is a blank instance of Maelstrom. Now, you don't need to have any of the sounds or any of the parameters messed with, but if you want to go that extra mile, you turn on oscillator B and you set it to a FM bass. That's found third one from the top. You want to take the motion all the way down. You want to pitch it up 2 octaves, and you want to route it to filter B. Make sure filter B is off, and make sure routing filter B to shaper is turned on. Make sure filter A is turned off. For our first oscillator, we're going to make sure it goes to our shaper. Make sure shaper is on. So instead of a sine wave, we're going to choose a square, and we're going to pitch it up an octave. For our mod B, we don't mess with mod A. For our mod B, we turn on sync and we set it to 1/8, and we have it modulate our filter 100%. Now, what I'm going to do is play a few notes to see where we are right now, and as I adjust the volume for the clip on the shaper, we'll start to get a better understanding of how distorted and clanky we can make this synth. Okay, so that was a bad demonstration, but it will start to make more sense later on. So the next thing we want to add is a PX FM synth. I'm going to hit tab, and we're going to take the left and right outs and plug them into our audio input. Now if I play a few notes and adjust the amount of the shaper, we should notice a difference. Start to get a little bit fatter, a little bit more distorted and soft. So for the patch, I'm going to go over to my PX71 rack extensions browser, and I'm going to choose Monkey Skull for this one. For the algorithm, instead of 18, we're going to change this to 28 or 29. 28 if you want it to be a little bit more distorted, but I will show you how to take out that annoying pluck at the end. So depending if you want to have it a little bit more gritty, 28. And if you want to have it a little bit more digitally distorted, you want to choose algorithm 29. See? So after this, actually for PX7, what I'm going to do right now is adjust some of the parameters so that way we won't have to deal with this in the end. So one of the things that for PX7 likes to do is, on this patch particularly, is that envelope rate number 4 is that very clanky, dragged out bass. A lot of these have very just thrown all the way to like 99 of envelope rate. So I'm just going to take down number 4 on basically all these until we get a nice even ring. So basically I took all envelope rate 4 all the way down except for the very last one. And I'm also going to turn up my brightness and my decay. So decay, I want to take that back down to -1, and brightness I'll boost up. 31 sounds nice, so now that we have RPX7 all ready to go, we don't need to mess with that. So after this, I'm going to create an envelope controlled filter. Now if you want to modulate some of the effects, what you can do is you can have a remote override keyboard function to map this out, or you can create a automation line by right-clicking, edit out automation, and it will create a line and a track for you, and edit some points in order to create a different sound, like a more wah or dubstep type of wobble. And if you want it to be most effective, let's see if everything is correct. No, it isn't. A lot of the times when you attach audio unit into an in on a Maelstrom, it auto routes whatever synth you have plugged into it in the wrong spot. So I'm just going to switch these out. And I want to take my main output from my Maelstrom and plug that into the left and right, and take the left and right to my from devices if you want to fix that problem. If you want more of a growl, you want to turn up the resonance pretty high. So that's that. So anyways, if you want to create a little bit more headroom for your device, I suggest following the next steps. So I'm going to create an RV7000 advanced reverb, take the dry wet to 17 and the decay to 15, a little bit more because 20 is still a little bit too high powered for me. So I'm going to take a line 6 bass amp and turn on the compressor and take the threshold to 69, haha, 69. Anyways, for our creative effects, we're going to choose the echo. I'm going to turn on bypass for now. We'll come back to that in a little bit later. So after this, create a Scream 4 distortion. We want to create that nice rich warmth that you can't get with any other distortion device so far, other than Dynamic Tube and Ableton 8. Anyways, I'm going to take the damage type to digital. I want to take the damage control to 21. P1, I'm going to throw up to 127, and P2, we're going to take that to about 91, or 81 in this case. And don't worry about the volume, we can always turn it up in the end. So after this, I'm going to create 2 M-class equalizers to remove a lot of the frequencies. So I'm going to turn on low cut, P1, P2, and for P1 I'm going to sweep through the higher frequencies and take out a lot of those peaks. So stick with me or follow along, however you want to do it. It's still a lot of easier process. Okay, now for our second equalizer, I'm basically going to take this all the way down and all the way down around 156 Hertz. Don't adjust the Q or anything. It's fine where it is because we want to decrease a lot of the lower volume when we start messing around with bigger parameters. So for P2, I'm basically going to take a little sliver out, so negative gain all the way and positive Q to 32, and I'll sweep through in between these set frequencies because I noticed there's some still in there that I would like to remove that causes a lot of problems. Yeah, there it is. So after this, just create an M-class maximizer turn on soft clip, take limiter off, and throw the soft clip all the way at 127, put the release to auto. And now to create that little bit of headroom, what you want to do is turn on the echo, take the time down to 128, make sure keep pitch is on, and set the offset to 132. You can do this for the right on the feedback if you wish. Turn the color of the distortion type to tube, and turn up the drive until, well, you feel where it's comfortable. I like that 61%, and it sounds a little bit off to me, so I want to set it back down to 1/64, and basically boost it with the maximizer. And there you guys have it, your very own digital alarm clock synth 2 with the PX7 and Maelstrom. There's a ton more combinations coming out later out next week, and I'll see if I can find a patch that is convertible and compatible with the Ableton 8. I might be upgrading the Ableton 9 depending if the audio engine is something I need for this project, and if it isn't, oh well. So I'll check you guys out later for another crazy synth tutorial. Stay tuned and peace.